Ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming the Max and part 14 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Old World Blues, the Enclave Redux mod. So, in the last episode, we had finally defeated Ouroboros and the League of Hecate over here with Diana, Ouroboros, and then the Arapaho Rollins Federation. We also knocked out the Heaven's Gate and Gente de Sol down here. We formed the Mexican Reclamation Zone under an immigrant government down in the south, and up in the north, we have fully expanded the Dominion of Canada under our tutelage as a, type of puppet. Ooh, as a type of puppet. Um, and as of right now, all we are doing is we are running through our focus tree. The Legion of Hades cannot defeat. It's not declared. Cannot defeat us. Cannot declare war on us until the 3rd of January 2020. 2283. So we've got a few more months, and then we also, as we're building the Mariposa Corps, 7 more divisions. I told you all I was going to build tank divisions. I have not built them yet, so that's what we'll be going to do right now. Gonna do that. We're gonna do some motorized infantry. No. So not bad organization. We'll put let's see, it'll be vertebrate support, mobile logistics. Thought I had mobile maintenance teams. Got mobile reconnaissance. We're going to just put maintenance teams on them. And then we're going to put the heavy AA units as well. Where's that? Heavy AA, yeah. So, pretty beefy armor regiments for sure. Let's do the battalions. Save. And we will build 20 of these. Oh, I can only build 12 right now. Oh, they don't have enough vertebrates, so I'm not going to worry about the vertebrates. I'll just take them off. Or once I get some army experience, I'll take them off. We'll start building those, and I'm going to bring up, I think these are them. Let's put more of them on there. And, of course, we don't have any resources right now. Let's see. Doing all of this. These should be done this episode. A lot to do. And then we have a bunch to do down here for the Mexico Reclamation Zone. So, alright. Start her on off. Oh, I did ask you all in the comments what we should do with this one. Someone said I did the Admiral Kincaid the last time we played this series, and I was really mad about the choice. So we're going to go with Oceltol's Soldiers Are Welcomed with the Jaguar Knight Refugees. Lose 5% war support.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Oh, we get 2 power armor divisions and not too bad infantry divisions. Okay. And their veteran status. It's actually really quite good.
This is Enclave main.
We'll form you up under your own. Under. Wyatt Young. We'll move these guys up here. In case we decide when we're going to go to war with the Strath Commune if we go to war with them. Our puppets are moving a lot of units over, so... And we can trade. I don't think I have any factories to trade with right now. But when we do get some factories to trade with, we can start trading with the Dominion of Canada to get some more resources. And yes, I do need to build up my navy. My navy is very, very, very weak. not been failing to pay attention to that. No rest, no respite. Legion landing party craft. We've seen those 100 times now. So it's July. Towards December, I'll start moving my armies to defend against the Legion of Hades. Someone did tell me you can go down both of these focuses. So, and I didn't realize that. So we are about to start researching the second battle plan, battle doctrine. So I don't think there's much left to do on this one. Four more. Get that done real quick. The Steam Fort. Fort Boise was one of many army bases reactivated during the Sino-American War. Boise. Boise mainly served as an army base that trained infantry, mountaineers, and how to operate artillery. It wasn't overly important back then, yet that would not save it when the nuclear bombardment of Boise, Idaho, located just northeast, would send shockwaves out, which severely damaged the base, eventually leaving it collapsed, derelict, and abandoned by few survivors, if any. In the aftermath of the bombs, it became Heaven's Gate main base of operation in terms of their forces along the Snake River. Boise also served in training their forces in fire team tactics, defensive warfare, and recon. It served as a good defensive point against those coming in from the riverways too, something we will have to take advantage of with Fort Boise now restored and Heaven Gates now cleared out. Give a boost to Army Organization, Special Forces cap, and reduce terrain penalties. Excuse me. Reduces, it's sure is a grand view. Sorry, I got hiccups. Need 3 capital ships and 7 screen ships in the boneyard. How about I just... throw you guys on there and then finish that out. Mechanized training. Advanced recon.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
It's another 20 divisions. Put them under South Command. And you can be under Carter. Each 20 will man this.
Enclave here.
Always remind myself to do that. It's like robots are about done. Just spit them out up here somewhere in the north because I think that's where he's located at. Home in the mountains, sitting high in Idaho, Mountain Home was primarily our fighter base in the lead up to the Great War and became one of America's 2 fighter shields against the Chinese air attacks during the Great War. Regardless, mountains that give it its namesake sheltered it from the Great War, though the intervening years did not. Crumbling infrastructure, scavenging from the surrounding locals, and the harsh climate made the base quite the effort to repair. Regardless, the base's operation and ready to receive fighters once again gives a boost to air mission efficiency and ace generation. So we need to do 20 divisions of these guys. And I need 2 extra division of my Enclave Auxiliary to put with
This is Enclave main com. Enclave here.
robots. I need to... Oh, well, I don't have any army experience. Yakima's Air Base, located east of Pasco, Washington Naval Air Station. Pasco was one of the many naval air stations of the West Coast. Placed east of the Pasco Township, Naval Air Station Pasco had specific purpose of defending America's waterway and the nearby Navy base of Kitsap Naval Base and Naval Station Everett. Known as one of the busiest naval air stations in the United States, Pasco is not only used to defend the installations, but also for advanced flight training. Navy and Marine pilots making use of Pasco to train on flight maneuvers or for the purpose of sharpening skills if they were part of the Top Gun program at the Naval Air Station Fallen. In the advent of the Great War, Pasco is not directly targeted but would be hit by several stray nukes. Although most of its facilities on site would survive, the Naval Air Station was still heavily damaged by stray strikes and the shockwaves coming from nearby major cities. In the aftermath, Pasco would come under the control of those from Vault 100. The ghoulified Vault Dwellers utilized Pasco to launch glider missions into the air, whether that be for the Washington Brotherhood or their own use. With the ghouls cleared out from the old airbase, we have restored Naval Air Station Pasco back to its to active duty. That's not there's not going to be a lot of naval air stations, right? Give a boost H generation and air agility, and JASO renamed to NAS Pasco. Northern Pacific Sky Sentinel, the Navy's Northwest Air Station, guarded the entrance to the Puget Sounds, or Puget Sounds? Puget, I think, and was the first to hear the disaster aboard the USS Emmett Atoll. Further, it serves as the base for naval strikes against Canadian resistance during the American liberation of Canada from the communist sympathizers. Despite being an important station in the Pacific Northwest, it was spared many of the nuclear bombs that fell upon Seattle. However, its remote location and desolate winter conditions left it derelict and silent. While there's evidence the Washington Brotherhood and raiders from Vancouver attempted to enter the base, the large ghoul population we dealt with indicated they weren't all too successful. Fly Eagles fly, improve air agility and H generation. Marines at the Mall, a former Army heliport. With defense funding tight due to the ongoing war in Alaska and soon to be open Chinese front, the Marines brokered a deal with the Army to turn over the old Ryla Army Air Heliport to the Marines. Exploiting a loophole in funding, the Marines were able to build the post up rapidly. From here, they were successfully conducting their Aleutian campaign, cutting Chinese supply shipments to Anchorage in half. Post-war, it was sat dialects, save a few scavengers, and with Lewis McCord to the north, distracting the Brotherhood. Instead, the Marines hoped to use it as a staging and training ground for operations in the north, and as for continued patrols against the pirates that we still infested the northern waters. Pirates beware, we have Marines, improve amphibious attack and special forces capacity. We're gonna do this protect Californian coasts. There's the pre-war installations. If you guys want to see how many boosts we've gotten since we've started, 81% chance of H generation, 63% air attack. It's crazy. Do still caravans, attack, and then MacArthur's Doctrine. Naval cruise unsuccessful. Guys gotta do better. We will form the Pan American Alliance. Someone had asked us to do that, and I had agreed to do it. We will form this. The Pan American Alliance. Resistance to Santa Anna has had the perverse effect of uniting the peoples of Mexico for the first time in centuries, and American support has reduced opposition to the Northern Americanos. Accordingly, Mexico's leaders have sent delegates to Baja to meet with the Enclave Reconstruction leadership to discuss a new alliance to safeguard their independence. Unidos hoy, unidos siempre, create faction Pan American Alliance. We will invite Canada. We will do these ones too. Just need political power. We are getting 2 political power a day, so we are doing quite well. See, construction-wise, yeah, we're starting to constructing a little bit better. Get more territories cored, get more resources flowing. Let's see. Canada has a lot of resources. I don't want to give up my factories just yet. I'd like to build a little bit more. And then these cost me political power, but they do get more units for their territory. So that's always something we can do, because I plan on pushing hard with the Canadians if Strath Commune does not join us easily. Just have to pay attention. Once December hits, I've got to move everybody to the south. What I'm hoping will be the war against the Legion. And then if Mexico does not declare war immediately, I will be moving east to start taking out some of the other groups of people. I knew I was trying to research something, but I'm trying to look for it. Steal caravans. Attack, attack, attack. We'll finish this out before the war. Legion raided party spotted again. Economic resurgence. Let's see. Hope they're willing all to become part of the Commonwealth. So Standing Rock, Strath Commune, and Glow Cradle. I don't know if that's cheating or not. Infinity Knights demand territory. Who are the Infinity Knights? We will deal with this. Could you imagine being like an insignificant little group and being like, hey, you big nation next to me? Alright. Yeah, I'm ready for a fight. Let's do this.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk. And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
I'm so glad it cusses every time I click on him.
Who the hell is this? The president?
Let's see. Put you guys here. We'll start rotating these troops south.
Enclave here. That's a no one.
Your troops. These crossings are going to be a pain to defend. Put you there. Some of your guys there. Some of your guys there.
Enclave here.
7-7. Leaves 12 over there.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk. Why isn't your video feed working?
There we go. Alright. And then who else is up here? You're moving.
Enclave here. This is Enclave Maincom. Why isn't your video feed working?
Oh, you're light robots. Will we move you over to him? And I want one more robot, please. Oop. Nope, it's the wrong one. There it is. No? Wait. Yeah, it is Mr. Handy Divisions. My bad. I was right the first time. Oh, we have two being made up there, so we don't need these two. Infinity Knights demand territory.
Enclave here.
Your troops can go sit right here.
Enclave here.
You guys can be moved here. The light robots aren't that great of a division, so that's why I'm kind of keeping them at arm's length as a actual stand fast group. The Mariposa Corps, I'd really like them to be done soon. When will these guys be finished? November 16th, 2282. All right, we'll get them before the war, and then these guys we should also hopefully get. Might be a little bit after the war starts. Unless I pop them down early, which is a possibility. Construct power grids. Alright. Our armies are marching over
Everything's always
here.
tighter out here at Enclave. Enclave here.
I need to put out a lot of my Air Force. Let's see. Triplane attackers. Jet fighters. Jet fighters. Bring you all up. Legion landing party spotted. A Legion landing party spotted. Ooh. The Legion marches. The only Legion to turn to clean up its flanks are us. Marines over Oregon for most of its life. Corvallis Municipal Airport served regional flights and private flyers despite having a history as a Marine airfield. The history came back in the Resources War when the Marines reclaimed the old base to begin hunting Chinese subs in the Pacific Ocean, as well as intercept communist bombers coming out of Alaska. Post-war, it sat as a wreck, scavenged and pit clean, as well as getting a nasty Murloc infestation on the western edge of the base. The rib breakers didn't help much, and the Marine engineers were noticeably disturbed by the artworks of bodies that they kept uncovering. Thankfully, the base is back in working order, and the Marines are eager to get to work patrolling over the Pacific, this time against remnants of the West Coast Corsairs. Give those pirates hell, improve ground strike and ace generation. Tribes of the magazine, what was once home to a deep water ammunition pier and a conventional ordnance storage site, eventually became home to a series of tribal cultists who worshipped the formal naval facilities. While the Olympus tribe tolerated the Brotherhood of Steel, was not so tolerant of people who sat atop pre-war munitions and technology. By our arrival, the tribe had attempted to reestablish control over the magazine. Before we could even establish how many there were, they attacked our construction crew, prompting a response that saw them wiped out. Now that the curious episode's over, we managed to restore the magazine to working order and supplying our naval forces in the Pacific. Reduces naval refit cost. Steel layering. Attack, 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 and the MacArthur Doctrine. Alright. Doop. And doop.
Enclave here.
I'll have you guys remember that they declared war on me.
That's a no one. Enclave here. That's a no one. And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Must not have had any anti-tank. Oh, they did have anti-tank. Wow. A lot of strip power armor. Well, those guys were absolutely stupidly easy to destroy. I'm not going to take their... Well, I'll take their navy. Who cares? Firm an exit. Oh, gobble them up.
Who the hell is this?
Alright.
The president?
Will Lone Tree not join us? I'll just wait on that. Let's see. You can invite Canada into the alliance. We're not going to do that just yet. Can return the land of Mexico. Send Dornan to the Free Fighters. I'm curious about what that would do. And I'd kind of like to see them become, like, join up. Oh, they're at war. They're elites. Well, we'll send him down there. La Caracha. Luca Caracha. This is Enclave Radio, bringing you a cultural exchange with our neighbors to the south. Sergeant Dornan is stepping into the ring now, facing a Mexican leader called the Blue Demon. The Blue Demon is waving to a Howling crowd. I'm translating what he's saying. It's, wow, why would we trust this cockroach from the north who stands before us in an armor as black as his heart? A true warrior should show his face to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. Horrigan is stepping out of his armor and shouting into the microphone. You dare call me a cockroach? Am I an officer? I work for a living, you moron. You will call me Sergeant Dornan. Dornan is shouting. I think that's supposed to be Dornan is stepping out of his armor. Dornan is shouting even louder. Do you understand me? Ladies and gentlemen, he's jumped in the ring and the crowd's going wild. Dornan, Dornan, Dornan. They add La Cucaracha, which gains infantry heart attack plus 5%, division attack plus 10%, and division defense on core territory plus 5%. Do we bring any t-shirts to sell? That's very funny. I'm glad I did that. Not for any reason. Like, it had no significant value other than I just enjoyed that.
Enclave here.
You all. I'm actually gonna have the power armor pushed through New Vegas because I want to try to take the dam. So these
Enclave
robots come to the Mojave outposts. Your job will to be literally just to hold that position. And her, where's she at?
here. Why isn't your video feed working?
Will be at Mountain Spring. And Assault Tank Tech. There we go. The MacArthur Doctrine is done. I really need to do the Commonwealth projects. I need to do all of these. There's so much to do. I keep saying that, but it's really true that there's just a lot to do. We could do a Nation Reborn, which would be relatively a good thing to do before the war starts. Let's do business in California. Let's do these Commonwealth projects and get these done. Don't remember what they give us, so. Need to remind myself I don't have this territory right here defended, so. The next group of infantry, where are you at? I guess is the Mariposa Corps, right? Yeah. You'll be popping out over here. Mariposa Corps will be there. Radioactive materially confirmed. Our intelligence crew reported the structure's control room. Thankfully managed to power on the old pre-war computers will help with some portable fission devices and have already engaged containment protocols. Power armor teams fitted with the heaviest radioactive protection are on their way with transport bots carrying equipment to plug any leaks detected by the system, and we expect minimal downtime in our operations. The Children of the Sun. This is Enclave Reconstruction Authority Radio, bringing you the latest news from La Yaqui. It appears the Enclave Interim Administration has called for a new assembly and issued an announcement. For 200 years, Mexico has slumbered beneath a jealous God. We have stood apart and divided, and all this has brought us to in sorrow. But Santa Ana has reminded us of what Mexico shares in common, of what we share in common. We need not stand for on the assistance of granite. We are the children of the sun. We are Mexicans, and we will be slaves to no one. The Enclave Interim Administration has announced that he will normalize relations with the Enclave Reconstruction Authority in short order. We are standing by for further developments. Wait, what? No? Oh, we say wait, no. Okay, so the reclamation zone becomes the Republic of Mexico. Aren't they the Republic of Mexico? I'm confused. Will they join them? I'm going to say wait, no. Or is that what I want? Lose 5% stability. I mean, they don't unbecome our puppet. But I don't like how it says will be known as the Republic of Mexico, because there already is a Republic of Mexico. I'm going to say, wait, no. I think that means they get annexed by Santa Anna, and that's absolutely not. I don't know if it's going to cause them heartache or something, but... Actually, maybe rephrase it. I don't care if it causes them heartache. Watch, I'm going to save the 75 political powers and hit that, and it's going to do exactly what that just, what just did. We will send... I will wait on that. Save political power for right now on that. Let's see, we need more power. We have 136,000 bottle caps. The business of California, the Southwest Commonwealth reborn. The president today inaugurated the Southwest Commonwealth, made up of the Nevada territories, the Mojave Wasteland, and the former NCR. The event was held within the halls of Shady Sands, which has been designated as the Commonwealth's new capital due to the facilities already present in the post-war city. This is considered a major win for President's Commonwealth program, as many former NCR citizens and residents of the Nevada territories were keen on keeping their land separate. There was also a push by former California barons to ensure that the President's Commonwealth plan fell through, citing business interests in keeping California California. A public advocacy campaign was launched, but due to the security situation in California, this campaign never went anywhere. The president assured that nothing will really change in the Commonwealth aside from the continued distribution of goods and services and the better cooperation of police and security organizations within the Commonwealth to combat raiders and mutated monsters. A new day, America. The Gunrunners. The Gunrunners is a weapon merchant and manufacturing faction operating out of the fortress in the Boneyard. By today, it has branches in many areas, including one near the Strip in the Mojave Wasteland. The Gunrunners supply only the finest hardware to the most discerning of customers, which used to include the NCR. Most Gunrunner workshops are set up in areas that recently came under our control. Unsure of the new regime's view on their business, they have ceased production temporarily. Many are making plans to leave and will do so soon unless we make our opinion of them clear. We'll let them continue operating, or we'll just take their guns. No. Factory output plus 5%, equipment conversion speed plus 15%. Though you can't convert equipment in this one, I don't think. Let's see. End of the bottle caps. No. Chamber of Commerce. No. Let's do Restore Navarro. There's so much things to do. I keep saying that. Every episode I'm like, wow, there's so much things to do. There's so much things to do. Another Legion raiding party spotted. But I'm not even like joking when I talk about how much there is to do in this mod. I love it though. I love this mod. I think this mod is super well fleshed out for how it is. So, so we did get a bunch of stuff here. A new Dayglow. America's Chinatown. It's all cost political power. Let's see. Fund the guerrillas. True Ejército Mexicano, or the Mexican Reclamation. Let's do that. I think he's going to want this territory back to him, but... Dog attacks. Alright. Somebody is done training.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Are you under there? The lands of Mexican Reclamation Zone. The Mexican Reclamation Zone has lodged a formal request for us to return Mexican lands to their administration. But there was nothing less of a shower of thanks and support for assistance in the land of the Titans. It appears several within the Mexican Reclamation Zone is wanting to get on with rebuilding Mexico without having to continually request permission from the U.S. military administration in the region. Meanwhile, some members of Congress have questioned our latest military appropriations. There's also been a rumor of unrest among the Mexican population who are starting to sour at the notion that they traded up patrols for Lolux robots and the flower wars for power and soldados and leaders who don't always speak Spanish. Have the lands back, but they'll have to pay. Gain all the rights to the refinery. We can't risk the unified power to the south. Where's the refinery at? Is that over here? Just give them back their lands. Doesn't change the fact that we're still going to be fighting from this territory, so. Click that. Draw the border. Just do that to make sure that we're not in control of any of their lands as well. All right. Keep on going. They'll become a federal commonwealth in 4 days. I was kind of wanting to go to war with Strath Commune. Another Legion landing party spotted. Power up all the power grids. We can rebuild Sacramento. I'm going to pay to get all of these to join us. I do want to invite Mexico into the alliance here at some point. But irrigate California. Do that. Return to Navarro. Restore Navarro. We've retaken Navarro, and for many of the oldest members of the Enclave, it holds more than just simply taking back some land. After the rig went down, the base went from a simple refueling outpost to a fortress and was our last stand before we were scattered. It was here that hundreds lost their lives to the NCR and Brotherhood, and it was here that Dornan led the exodus into Nevada that planted the seed of our return. Many of our survivors of the battle broke down where they saw friends and family die. Others seemed to be at peace, knowing their sacrifice wasn't in vain. Many of the dead were dumped into a mass grave, and the Army Mortuary Affairs Division is going through and identifying them for proper military burial. All this has strengthened the resolve to see Navarro transformed into the largest base on the West Coast, a massive installation whose size would rival that of Shady Sands. With shovel in hand, the Army Engineer Corps is ready to begin. Expand the base. Horses. Start getting better construction. I know there's a war about to go on. No longer getting industrial support, which is fine. Come on, Mariposa Corps. Be done in November. Steel layering. Power optics. Special forces kit. Let's see. I don't know why I just started building those bombers. the assault tank. Is that different than the wasteland tank? Curious if the assault tank is something else, like in the the tank division. Yeah, so they are something different. Way better than our tanks, but the assault tank companies and the mechanized artillery brigades are different. All right, well, we'll have to try to get to those as well. Assault tanks. I just seen it just a second ago. Start getting towards getting some of these built. Watching over the mall. Port Mile, whether we like it or not, is set to be a vital commercial port here in Oregon, and it wasn't for the caravan routes, could possibly eclipse Portland. However, many of the merchants aren't too keen with being told what to do, be it piracy or otherwise. Just because we say we're enforcing it doesn't mean some won't push their luck. Further, an attack on Port Mall would very well cripple the economy of the Northern Oregon, and we can't have that. We need the money for taxes. To alleviate this, the Navy and the Coast Guard have been hard at work converting parts of Puget Island or Puget? Puget Island into an imposing naval base, both to defend Port Mall against whatever threat may come its way and to keep those pirates turned merchants in line. Nothing says to follow the law like a microwave lance pointed at your face. Indeed, improves naval repair and coordination. Sentinel of the North Pacific, serving as a North Pacific Fleet headquarters, naval base Kitsap served to keep American submarines and carriers fueled, supplied, and families housed while operating in the Northern Pacific. It becomes a focal point for what becomes known as the Battle Beneath the Pacific against the Chinese submarine fleet during the Resources War. Of course, that meant it was targeted by the Chinese nuclear bombardment that started the Great War. Thankfully, over 200 years after the Great War, we've been able to restore the base to operational capacity, including its massive fuel silos that were the hallmark of the base pre-war. Freedom Ahoy improves naval repair and coordination. Remember the USS Eben Atoll. Acting as a surface warfare command center for the North Pacific region, the station served as both a backup to Naval Base Kitsap as well as its own command center. The base gained some additional fame pre-war as the coordinated attack when the USS Eben Atoll was sunk off the coast of Alaska in 2066 by the USS Interference. It was here where the flag of the USS Eben Atoll was flown before being transferred to the Museum of Technology, and the tribunal for court-martial of the USS Interference, Captain Van Buren, was held. Today, the Navy is hoping to restore its full capacity to combat piracy along the broken coast and the portal from which America can launch expeditions towards Alaska. A moment of silence for the USS Eben Atoll improves naval repair and coordination, and the Umatilla Chemical Depot. Something listed as Oregon Ford Depot pre-war. It was the site of a court-martial of General Victor Breckinridge by General Constantine Chase for losing his coat. Sadly, the Great War ended the proceedings before guilt could be determined. If that's all it was known for, we would leave it at that. Another Army depot for using and supply our troops on a hostile land. No, Umatilla was home to the largest assortment of chemical weapons this side of Utah. There's no silver lining here. Even the dead husk of Dead Claws show it is nothing but a place of disease and death. The chemical corps will work around the clock to decontaminate the area, and hopefully the chapter in our history can be closed. Let's close this dark chapter in our history. Reduce supply consumption. The drug wars. Mexico's history with drug cartels is long and bloody, and in more than one point directly a result of our meddling. From Reagan's war on drugs to our parlay with cartels during the Resource War, the reign of terror has stretched for over 300 years, yes, right up until today. Their influence is spread far and wide, and we're finding Buffout, Psycho, and even Jet as far north as Washington. Planted along Mexico's west coast, the Sinaloa cartel has maintained a grip on power. Its ruling members, the same who controlled it back in the 21st century, now long ghoulified. They managed to survive by adapting and being more powerful than the surrounding factions, as well as using Lulloch's watchful eye to ensure that many of Mexico's factions don't take them out. At least they earn the ire of the AI god. However, Lulloch is gone, and in its place is us. Allowing the cartel to live is certainly invite another bloody drug war to stain Mexico's legacy and hamper our efforts in the South. Perhaps it's time to quit treating them as an organized crime and just brand them as a violent raider gang and send in the Marines. At the very least, it will deter future attempts at the thoughts of bringing the ire of the American military might make more than a few kingpins think twice before setting up shop. We get war goals against the Sonora cartel and the Betran Levia, and the Mexico Reclamation War gets the war goals as well. Am I missing? that other group unless it's like taken over. Could rebuild Sacramento. It's 10 days. All right. I think it's just we beat out all of the Legion's allies and destroyed their faction, so I don't think you guys even have an army right now. Chamber of Commerce. I wanted the sophisticated industry and exploitation tech. So a lot of some of the comments were talking about why we didn't annex Canada from the Resources War. I felt like within this reformist path, we would be a much more trying to bring back the old government before all of the resource war and everything. There's no grudges. It's you're Canadian, you're Mexican, we're American. Um, we're not going to be the jackboot that holds you down. We were jackbooted before. So when I do the purist playthrough, which is be coming up probably in the next month or so, or next couple of months at least, I will be a full take over everything, hate everybody. But I felt like this route and this go around, this is why I'm doing the Dominion of Canada, the Mexican Reclamation area, all of that stuff. Uh, that kind of describes why I'm doing the different things I'm doing, why I'm being kind of so nice, why I'm not immediately jumping at the thought of killing all these communists up here in Strath Commune. It's because we're much more like we weren't alive during that time period for the communists. So why would we hold the grudge anymore? Kind of deal. But just the way I thought I was gonna or I should have played this the reformist path. So restoring Sacramento as the old seat of government for California, Sacramento was hit was hit pretty handily by a few Chinese nukes, but nowhere near as bad as the Boneyard or Dayglow. However, the city was effectively abandoned as the state government collapsed in the wake of the Great War. Following this, Sacramento's name was changed to Sacktown at a later date and was ruled over by various street gangs, the most notorious of which were the 80s. Yes, those 80s. When the NCR formed in Shady Sands and pressed north, Sacktown became a battleground between the nascent NCR army in the 80s, resulted in the NCR's victory as the 80s were thrown east out of the state. There were some calls to return to the capital to California to its pre-war center, but that was shot down by President Tandy, who didn't want to leave her ancestral home. Sacktown saw a bit of a revival, even changed its name to Sack City as it grew, bolstered by the presence of the NCR's Navy Northern Fleet headquarters and money from the NCR barons. Well, now we're here to finish what the NCR would not. With Shady Sands designated as the capital of the Sierra Commonwealth, the capital of the state of California is finally returning to its rightful place in Sacramento after 200 years. Already, state government offices are being renovated and refurbished, as well as motivating some of the functions or moving some of the functions from Shady to Sacramento, such as the state legislature and the governor's office. The capital of California is returned to Sacramento. Sac City changes its name to Sacramento and adds to infrastructure. Not the worst. Do the a new day glow for Helios 2. Cost us some money, but we hopefully get more power.
Enclave here.
You two will fall under Ulysses. They're getting ready for a war with Sonoma Cartel that I'm not going to jump into anyway. So 30 days, November. We should have all of these territories up here done and annexed in by the time we go to war. So mole miners enlist. The mole miners have since become a rather interesting addition to our nation. They are not the most welcoming of types unless you want to spend money. They are not the most cordial of type unless you want to spend money. They are not the most agreeable types unless you want to spend money. Seems their entire civilization is still built around the old cutthroat mining industry that they are descended from all those years ago. Their leader, Boss Morgul, is is amenable. However, we've heard word that at one point he was fine with exterminating any human he came across. Seems, however, that he's changed his tune when he realized just what he was up against and is now playing along if it means he can keep his people alive and keep his pocketbook lined. However, there's still the piles of body when we encounter the mole men, which means not every mole miner was so open about wanting to join the Enclave Reconstruction Authority, and likely Boss Morgul read the room and jumped ship. However, right now it seems those who are eager to join and are fed up with the rigid hierarchy of the mole men are asking to join the army like the Slanders did. A few officers oversaw a demonstration, and the mole miners were able to dig entrenchments faster than even engineers with machines. A few engineers crunched the numbers, and the moles could dig an entire World War One trench line in half the time as regular humans. This, of course, would be a boon for us in the field and in combat. Uh, okay, or well, all right. Add technology, mole miner engineers, or right, World War One. Which one was that? Add technology. Oh, well, all right. Cool. Mole miner engineers. That's actually kind of interesting. Go into production. I guess we need the mole miner equipment. Very, very, very cool. Look at that. Look at all the negative resources that we don't have. Can we turn on any... Scroll back up, scroll back up, scroll back up. Helios 2. Good afternoon, America. This is your president, and I want to tell you a great new plan. You might have heard of the solar plant outside of New Vegas called Helios 1, but you know it was not. Did you know it was only one of a series of plants intended to wean off America of fossil fuels before the Great War? Alone, New Vegas, California, and Vault City could never have duplicated it, but working together, we were building Helios 2 outside of Dayglow as we speak to bringing clean, affordable energy to Southern California. It's a do-a-day, America. Soak up the sun. This is fine. Or look at it glow. Dayglow's renamed to San Diego. Or look at it glow. We'll just say this is fine. Rename it. Post the old name.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Your job, your entire mission, be to cut this army off.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Oh, they can. The Mariposa Corps should be done soon. Oh, I think some of them are already done.
This
Yes.
is Enclave Maincom.
So now we need to figure out who's going to lead the Mariposa Corps. I guess it'll be Joshua Graham. Then take those other 11. So where these have no divisions, and these already have 9, when I put these in, they'll automatically assign divisions. Legion Raiders. What we'll do is we'll have the Mariposa Corps push to try to knock out these areas. You guys will try to knock out this area.
That's a no one.
Your troops will try to push there as well.
This is Enclave Maincom.
Your forces trying to push across.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
I want your 8 to try to spread along this river of that nature. I know those 8 won't be able to do all of that.
This is Enclave Maincom.
But I feel like we better get all of these
Enclave here.
situated. Robots will stand firm.
Enclave here.
We'll wait for any of you to push. I have not forgot about rebuilding the Marine Corps. I know I said I would earlier in the series. Something I still plan on doing. I just have to get to the focus to do so. So it's just taking me a very long time to get things running right now. We'll do the new citizen care package. Get some little bit of extra water. Grain solicitations. Let's do the repurposed energy cells. Department of Manufacturing. Done. The Department of Energy. Mexico finally has some infantry units by the looks of it. No longer getting Brahmin Barons. Perfect. That should mean we get even more. So look at the amount of civilian factories go. Yes. Finally. We're finally starting to build stuff again. Another Legion landing party. I just keep skipping those because they're not giving us any negative debuffs anymore. And we've read them multiple times already, so I figured we could just kind of pop past them. If you would like, I will continue to read them, but I didn't see the point of reading the same thing over and over and over again. Traders from Hawaii. Far to our west, past the hulking wrecks of oil rigs and minor military islands, lies the Isles of Hawaii. Once, according to the book we found, at least these islands were also part of America and home of the American Pacific Fleet. By 2077, the Pacific Fleet was a vast collection of nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, destroyers, and missile boats. Most of the fleet was in port at the start of the Great War and was wrecked by a multitude of Chinese nuclear missiles that hit the port. The tribes of this Hawaii now make a living scrapping advanced components of the countless wrecks, trading for weapons and food with settlements up and down the west coast. This morning, a cluster of native traders from Hawaii arrived in our ports, offering a plethora of rare goods for a price. It's an opportunity we won't get for some time. Come on, or come tell us war stories from your homeland. Get 5% war support. Wow, our war support is incredibly, incredibly weak. Buy some exotic good for our people or turn them away. Flip fire. Brahmin Barons and the Vault City restrict suffrage. As it turns out, to some Americans, democracy is negotiable. Vault City and parts of Northern California are trying to restrict the rights to vote to longtime inhabitants or require an arcane citizenship test. Its hope is to control who their districts send to Congress and keep unwashed masses from having a say. You are terrible people, or let me explain why that's illegal. Because you implemented the Voting Rights Act, Lynette cannot play these little games and gain political power. Thanks, Lynette, for the political power. Stupid, stupid lady. Alright. Scroll down here. Power up all the power grids. We can still keep doing these, which we will. Don't you guys worry. The true Ejército Mexicano. We need to do as well, but I don't know if it matters if we invite Canada into the pact. Where was that at? But we're gonna do it. Canada joins the alliance. Queen Victoria VI announced today that the Dominion of Canada will be joining the Enclave Reconstruction Authority and Mexican Reclamation Zone as another founding member of the Pan-American Alliance. President Granite and Mexican Reclamation Zone President Enclave Interim Administration were in the capital of New Victoria to sign the accords welcoming the Northern Dominion into the alliance. It's just really funny that their Reclamation Zone president is the Enclave Interim Administration. President Enclave Interim Administration spoke at length about how the North American continent must be united against all threats that the post-Great War world must face, and the Dominion of Canada and Mexican Reclamation Zone should push to rely on each other as much as they rely on the Enclave Reconstruction Authority. They become a welcome member, and we can do America's Chinatown. Or actually, what? We remember Navarro, San Francisco Mint, Fate of the Boneyards. We'll just do America's Chinatown. Bastion of the American Brotherhood. Three days and we get all that territory up in the north. Oh. Oh, that was what was making the game lay. We've taken all these territories. Start doing those. We can do the skies over Montana once we get 25. We will do sending couriers to the Iron Confederacy. We will do that here momentarily. So I don't have enough circuitry. I don't have enough equipment for anything. We haven't made a singular jet fighter. The siege situation. We have control of San Francisco, but the question remains of what to do with the large Shi population that still resides in the city. It's not a secret that nearly every ethnic Shi is a descendant of the Shihai Hongtai, a pre-war Chinese nuclear missile submarine. We have destroyed their imperial palace and reduced much of their strongholds to ruin. However, they still leaves the rest of them. Of course, it's been 200 years, and there's likely little, if any, real connection to China, or that half of them know what China really was. Not to mention, plenty of us know what it's like to be hunted down and persecuted just for being a part of something in the past. Ironically, that is why nearly all of us are here right now. The NCR's brutal crackdown on our members is what drove us to the depot and allowed us to come back. But that's just the thing. What if they come back? What if one of those Shi uncovers my little red book and uses it to form a red revolution in one of America's most important cities? We could have a communist takeover on our hand. Make them take citizenship test, or we're all Americans now. Resistance to target negative 20% for Concord, San Francisco, and San Rafael. Let's do that one. Department of Energy. Could do Operation Brutus, which gives us 100 political power. Someone wanted me to do automation for America. Someone also said manual labor was better for the reformists. Let's do the tomorrow's victors. For 25 political power, we're going to do the skies over Montana. Just 10 days. We got a few more minutes to go. Recruitment, you guys. Can't deploy you yet, but we've got all the equipment needed for you. We have all the tanks needed. Scavengers return triumphant. Get 50% research bonus for robotics. I want to research the Davy Crockett and the other artillery piece. So there you go. We own all of this territory. Oh, that reminds me. Power all the power grids. I need to go to U.S.-Canada border. Good, good. They get all that territory up in the north. Ooh, the lag. There you go. Look at that. Look at you, Canada. And then save up political power and try to take up. The fate of the Sisters of Steel, the wildcard chapter of the Brotherhood or Sisterhood, despite civilizing most of Montana, internal strife and conflict with the Enclave forces of MacArthur led them to continue to be a controversial, if not intriguing, chapter of the Brotherhood. What was to be another Brotherhood stalwart chapter, it was ruled by a veteran of the Midwestern Wars, yet the chapter would grow on to become something of an anomaly in the Northern Commonwealth, the Sisters of Steel. Pink and blue, I see what the devs did. Their paladins, knights, and scribes, and lancers will join the United States. Very, very, very nice. I don't think we even got anything for that, so... Job, Canada. Ooh, an Assaultron. That's what we want. Nice Assaultrons. Canada just got all that land and they're like, what are we going to do about this? Pre-war tools. The Brotherhood leadership. The Brotherhood is clearly guilty of a range of crimes, including destruction of federal property, theft of federal property, and attacks on members of the United States government. But a trial for the Brotherhood could be messy, as some Americans will point out they're service raiders and super mutants, and they may try to slander us with false statements about our research at Navarro. Further, given that the Brotherhood is descended from pre-war military and we never actually did make an effort to cooperate, maybe there are alternative solutions, or we could just do a show trial. Pardon all who volunteer for the United States Army, or building railways in the Mojave will make them wish for nuclear winter. We get 3 to join us, and we lose some stability. Oh, yeah, we'll just take some of those. A Paladin Tale from New Reno. One of the outposts around New Reno was just met by a member of the Brotherhood of Steel. A paladin by the name of Keats says he was commanding a Brotherhood outpost in Utah and had experience fighting the 80s ghouls and working alongside some contracted killers looking for a mercenary headed through Zion. His mission ended and he was sent west to New Reno by the Midwestern Brotherhood of Steel. Please move along. Paladin Keats will be sent to the Midwest. Special thanks to Cell Block Psycho and the New Reno team. Go check out their mods, Tales of New Reno for Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, we're having a bit of an identity crisis. Special thanks to them as well. Paladin Keats becoming unit leader. Yeah, we'll take him in.
And the fucking president's watching us like a hawk.
Elder Angerhar is incredibly good. So we're going to actually take Angerhar and put him in charge of that group. So they have some of the American Brotherhood with them. Brotherhood soldiers. And then tomorrow's victors. All right. With that, I'm going to end the episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.